The H1B guy here, and today, the TN visa, what you need to know. I'm going to cover the TN NAFTA Professionals, otherwise known as the TN visa. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube and like this video so that I can continue to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention the H1B Guy offers a variety of consulting services. I help businesses and individuals solve complex work authorization issues in the recruitment process while bringing awareness to employment-based immigration benefits. If I can help you, please reach out. I'd love to hear how. Today's post is brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital PERM ads since 2001, and by Path to Canada, the ideal plan B for high-skilled immigrants currently located in the U.S. whose status may be uncertain, and also by PERM-ads.com, an industry leader in providing a seamless experience for employers and immigration attorneys navigating the complex PERM recruitment ad phase of the labor certification process. Well, the signing of the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, established certain economic and trade relationships for the United States, Canada, and Mexico. A byproduct of NAFTA is the TN visa. The TN non-immigrant classification permits qualified Canadian and Mexican citizens to seek temporary entry into the United States to engage in business activities at a professional level. Among the types of professionals who are eligible to seek admission as TN non-immigrants are accountants, engineers, lawyers, pharmacists, scientists, and teachers. You may be eligible for TN non-immigrant status if you are a citizen of Canada or Mexico, your profession qualifies under the regulations, the position in the United States requires a NAFTA professional, you have a pre-arranged full-time or part-time with a U.S. employer, or you have qualifications to practice in the profession in question. So the TN visa is a temporary work authorization for high-skilled individuals that are citizens of Canada or Mexico that can qualify in most categories a specialty occupation. Eligibility criteria: unlike Mexican citizens, Canadian citizens are generally eligible for admission as non-immigrants without a visa. The TN category, a non-exempt classification, simply reflects the general exemption from the visa requirement. NAFTA governs which evidence is required to prove whether a Canadian or Mexican citizen is a professional in a qualifying profession. Canadian citizens are not required to apply for a TN visa at a U.S. consulate or embassy. TN eligibility is established by presenting the required documentation to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection CBP officer at certain designated CBP ports of entry or designated pre-clearance, pre-flight inspection stations. The following documentation as evidence must be provided to a CBP officer: proof of Canadian citizenship, a letter from your prospective employer detailing items such as professional capacity in which you will work in the United States, the purpose of your employment, length of your stay, and your educational qualifications, credentials, evaluations, and together any applicable fees. If a CBP officer finds you're eligible for admission, you'll be admitted as a TN non-immigrant. Alternatively, a prospective TN employer may choose to file on behalf of a Canadian citizen who is outside the United States by submitting an I-129. Premium processing service is usually available. If USCIS approves the I-129, the prospective worker then may apply to a CBP for admission into the United States as a TN non-immigrant by providing the following documentation to a CBP officer: proof of Canadian citizenship and the approval notice from USCIS on the I-129. Basically, Canadian citizens have two options: port of entry, designated processing station with all of the necessary documents, usually a TN visa letter, education evaluations, certifications, proof of citizenship, or via an I-129 approval for those located outside of the U.S., and then they go and provide the I-129 approval with other supporting documents, proof of citizenship, at a port of entry or designated processing station. For Mexican citizens, though, you are required to obtain a visa to enter into the United States as a TN non-immigrant. You should apply for the TN visa directly at a U.S. embassy or consulate in Mexico. Once you're approved for a TN visa, you may apply for admission at certain CBP designated U.S. ports of entry or at a designated pre-clearance pre-flight inspection station. CBP officer finds you're eligible, you'll be admitted as a TN non-immigrant. This is where the process of obtaining a TN visa for Mexican citizens differs from their Canadian counterparts. It requires consular processing at either a U.S. embassy abroad or at a consulate in Mexico. Another difference also is the period of stay, extension of stay. The initial period of stay is usually 3 years for Canada, and it's typically 1 year for Mexico. If TN visa holders wish to remain in the United States, their initial period of stay without first departing the United States, they must seek an extension of stay. If you're in the United States, the employer can file the I-129 on your behalf, but I'll add that when you remain in the United States, filing an extension of stay can be a little bit cumbersome. When premium processing is available, it can be utilized for initial and extension of stay TN visas. Processing times do vary from 3 weeks to 5 months, depending on premium versus regular. Alternatively, if you do depart the United States before the date of your status expires, then once you're abroad, you can apply at a CBP designated port of entry or designated pre-clearance pre-flight inspection station using the same application and documentation procedures required at the time of your initial application for admission as a TN non-immigrant. My experience has been that this is the preferred method for TN visa renewals, and usually it was the easiest option in the pre-COVID era for individuals and employers. For dependents of TN non-immigrants, accompanying or following to join, like spouse and children under the age of 21, may be eligible for a TD non-immigrant status. However, they're not permitted to work in the United States, but they are permitted to study. Granted, their TD status is no longer than the period of time that is approved for the principal TN non-immigrant. One final note is that a non-refundable visa application fee and a visa issuance fee are generally the responsibility of the individual seeking TN visa status. I did want to share one data point about the number of TN visas that were issued from October 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2020. So total petitions that were received were 44,979. The initially approved number was 38,084 and initially declined 3,831. An approval percentage of 90.9%. A few final points on the TN visa. And that is one, the TN visa is not considered dual intent and does not typically provide what I call a clean path to permanent residency in the U.S. The TN visa is an excellent lower cost option for U.S. employers to recruit and hire high-skilled citizens of Canada and Mexico. The process of obtaining a TN visa differs between Canada and Mexico. If you're an employer that's considering hiring a Mexican citizen on a TN visa, please make sure that you're using an immigration attorney. If a TN visa holder is seeking permanent residency, then a change of status to H1B visa is the best option to having an employment-based adjustment of status approved in the future. For the full post on TN visa, what you need to know, please check out the H1BGuy.com. And a reminder that today's post was brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads and local job postings since 2001. This national job board network provides recruitment websites in 1,024 major U.S. metro areas. Each local job board is its own portal and is a low-cost resource for immigration recruitment ads for all industries and professions with a flat price of $225 per ad or $1,000 per month, regardless of which city you choose. RecruiterNetworks.com. Tell them the H1B guy sent you. The post is also brought to you by Path to Canada. Path to Canada provides an ideal plan B for high-skilled immigrants currently located in the U.S. whose status may be uncertain. If you're facing an H1B denial or OPT expiration, don't get caught off guard. Make sure you have a plan B, and Path to Canada is your answer. They will help you navigate the process. If you're interested in finding out more, please be sure to click the link in the video description below. And this post is also sponsored by PERM-Ads.com, an industry leader in providing a seamless experience for employers and immigration attorneys navigating the complex PERM recruitment ad phase of the labor certification process. If you want to reduce your costs and overhead associated with PERM labor certification recruitment advertising, let PERM Ads help you. Just want to ask you again to like this video, subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube, and click the bell for notifications so that you're notified anytime we post new content here to this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate your support. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.